There's probably 10 companies in the world that can build $1 billion project. The systems, the processes are so absolutely dialed. I was kind of taking what I learned and wanted to do it my own way. I wanted to do it in my community. I wanted to be more people focused.
Was there anything in the market or that you were seeing from other builders and developers that you were like, oh, I could do this better or do it different?
There's a significant gap in this market. The typical home builder doesn't follow the same process as a commercial general contractor.
The consumers that are in that price point, 4 or 5, 6 million plus, what are they wanting in their homes?
Machine learning, figuring out how I live in my space and start tailoring lighting scenes. Then you have integrated lighting controls and AV controls. Turn on your music at a certain hour. 2 or 3 of the bigger homes we're building require full-time on-site management, and I think that's something no one else does. I have a construction office trailer there with somebody there full-time watching every single part and piece go into that home every single day. That's the level you need to build $10+ million homes.
You are now tuned in to Only Agents by ASG Luxury Realty.
Welcome to episode 3 of ASG's podcast, Only Agents. I'm here as usual with the S to my A, Alan Schoenbrun of Alvarez Schoenbrun Group. And today we are lucky enough to be joined by a friend and a pillar of the building industry in Tampa Bay, Mike Fox, president of Fox Building Group. How are you, man?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me.
And real quick, we always get sponsored by people. Well, these
that's
are
right. Moment for the sponsor.
We have a sponsor. Well, in episode 1 we had AG1's fake sponsor, and then in episode 2 the whole country of Germany sponsored us.
That was a big one.
But in particular, it was the Rhine River region, Moselle, all the German Rieslings that are there. But for episode 3, golf season's back. Liv is just throwing money around, so I figured maybe we could shout out Liv Golf and maybe they could sponsor us.
Okay.
Bryson is trying to get like $500 million now.
I saw that request
after the departure of Patrick Reed and Brooks Koepka. So I don't know if anyone can
maybe Fineg get set a meeting for us.
Yeah, Mike, do you have an in?
Do you golf?
I try to, man.
Yeah.
I'm terrible, I feel like, but enjoy it, I guess, even though I just leave every time pissed off. My wife's like, why do you do this again? I'm like, it's awesome. I enjoy this.
It's the best.
Yeah, I'm having fun. We're having fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to the waste management tour this weekend.
No shit.
So that'll be great. I'll be at the 16th hole in the box.
That's gonna be epic.
On Friday. But my buddies are like, let's golf on Saturday. Great. They booked 2 tee times. They want to golf 36 holes. And I'm like, you guys
That's crazy. That's too much golf.
Where are you guys going to play?
Last time we did Greyhawk, but I think we're doing I don't know. That's one. And then there's Weekapo.
Oh, wow. Yeah. You're in for a treat.
Yeah. So, I'm good for 18 holes. I don't know about
second
36.
18, even just cruising like golf cart and having a drink will be worth it at those courses.
Because we're going to be going to like the Barstool Sports Bar every night.
Old Town Scottsdale. Yeah. Oh,
so.
Scottsdale's
you're
one of my
going to be doing
favorite
belly
places on
slides shirtless Friday afternoon. We're going to see him on TV taking his shirt off.
Live Golf, if you're listening and you have extra cash, send it ASG's way.
Come ASG's way.
I'm sure the PIF will consider. So.
Well, yeah, officially welcome to the podcast. Thank you again for joining us. We really appreciate it. We're excited to have an in-depth conversation with you. But for those of the viewers and listeners that don't know you, why don't you kind of give us a brief introduction about who you are and who Fox Building Group is?
From Maryland originally. I graduated from West Virginia University. Let's go Mountaineers. A civil engineer and actually mining engineering. Worked in a coal mine for 2 summers, which was an interesting experience. Really great experience, honestly, when it comes to every skill I learned from I think my interpersonal skills, especially in the industry. That was a valuable life lesson.
Was it one of those things where you learned like this is definitely not what I want to do?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's kind of where I was getting at. Is that there was an incident at one of the adjacent mines where 3 people had passed away. My mom basically said, "You're not doing this," which I had to agree. There was a little bit of fear there, and it's a beautiful industry. Honestly, I think there's a lot of bad press. Obviously, very politically polarizing, right? But I met some very great people that I would love to maybe pursue a career in that. But yeah, there is like the hazard that's there, right? But yeah, I decided not to pursue that as a career path. Went to work at kind of the hometown company in Baltimore, Whiting Turner, if you aren't familiar, it's one of the largest private companies in the United States, 5,000 employees, 110 years old. Really, when it comes to construction management, there's no one better. I really think that gave me the education that it took to, to take this step that I ended up taking. But how did I get there? I guess COVID was a big catalyst. I was living in Baltimore. It was a kind of a lonely time, right? Unlike the South, it was pretty locked down.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of time in our apartment, really just like thinking about life and what I really wanted out of life, and give it to two of my best friends. They put me on a reading list, starting with this book called "Living with the Seal" by Jesse Itzler.
That's a great book.
Where, if you're not familiar, Jesse Itzler, serial entrepreneur, married to I believe the first female billionaire, Sarah Blakely, founder of Spanx. Jesse founded Marquis Jet, Zico Coconut Water, I believe. Serial entrepreneur, wrote the song for the New York Knicks, wrote the song for the Denver Broncos.
I didn't know
Crazy story. If you like read his story, he'll tell you all about like his just company after company, all these things where he, built something from the ground up, and it's a really cool story. But regardless, he, fast forward, he lives with David Goggins for 30 days. You don't know it's David Goggins. You do find that out, but I think it's a pretty well-known secret. And it really inspired me to, take a leap, right? Take a leap of faith. So I think the true catalyst was, we had a bullet come through our window. A cop gets shot in front of our place. Baltimore is a really challenging place.
This is like
to
The
live.
Wire.
Yeah.
In real life.
We lived in
The
DC
Wire
for
is
a
a
while.
documentary more than a fairy tale. So, honey, I was like, I had this in my mind. I always want to be an entrepreneur. How do we put that plan in motion? Probably don't want to do it in Baltimore, given we don't want to live there. So, I looked at, Urban Land Institute's top 5 emerging markets, wanted to go somewhere that's on a big pattern for growth. We looked at Nashville, we looked at Tampa, we looked at Charlotte, and, we went to Tampa, oh man, I was younger at this point. How old was I? I was under 30. Went to McDenton's during COVID.
Nothing like a welcome to Tampa by going out to McDenton's.
I met my wife at McDenton's, so it's not all bad.
Man, that's amazing.
I met my wife at the Rack, which is just down the street.
At
the time.
COVID's locked down in Baltimore. There's 1,000 people here. Like, couldn't get enough people in here. And I was like, honey, this is awesome. We're moving here. So, and she was like, what the hell are you talking about? So, next thing you know, I transfer in with Whiting Turner to the Tampa office. And, I don't know if I'm going too deep in the story right now.
No, this is great. Yeah.
Transfer into the Tampa office from Baltimore. Whiting Turner has an office generally in every major city. And, went from spending a lot of time in, residential, multifamily, multi-unit construction. I did a hotel, couple, multifamily high rise, 5-story, 4-story, just generally multi-unit construction is what I did, a hotel, to working on pharmaceutical projects here in Tampa. So complete different change of pace, cool work, but really wasn't where I wanted the niche down. And, and on the side.
How many years were you doing that when you relocated to the Tampa office?
Just my entire career, a little over a decade.
Okay.
So I transferred into Tampa, complete change of pace, kind of liked it, kind of knew this wasn't like the niche I wanted to focus on. So, nights I was studying for my CGC, the commercial general contracting license, or the certified general contracting license, the highest license in Tampa, or in Florida, which was a challenge. And next thing you know, got the license, and now we have, fast forward 4 years later, we have 18 employees here, based out of Hyde Park at the foot of the Davis Island Bridge. And it's been crazy, man. It's been a run.
Was there anything that you saw? I mean, other than obviously you said you knew you always wanted to start your own businesses, but was there anything in the market or that you were seeing from other builders and developers that you were like, oh, I could do this, or I could do this better, or do it different?
Yeah. I mean, so I guess the company itself, right? I thought, okay, I have this idea. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. I'm going to, I think I learned from the best at Whiting Turner. They're, like I said, 5,000 employees, 110 years old for a reason. Like, they do things the right way when it comes to, building, I think there's probably 10 companies in the world that can build $1 billion project, and they're one of them, right? The systems, the processes are so absolutely dialed. So I wasn't doing anything new. I was kind of taking what I learned and wanted to do it my own way. I wanted to do it in my community. I wanted it to be more people focused. I wanted it to be in the place I love, I live, and, you know, shaping my community. That's what I wanted to do. That's why I love, you know, residential was something I had a passion for in, you know, these mixed use developments that are placemaking and creating these communities. So went off to do that and found out quite quickly, nobody cared what I had done in the past. It's only what you've done for me lately, right?
Yeah.
So you're starting off on your name and it just completely starting over. And, you know, it's, you take the opportunities you can get when you start. And, a lot of it was, you know, single family residential, lower barrier for entry. Didn't see myself building houses. That's something my old company just did not do. I think maybe they built like the founder of Under Armour's house, but like that's the only the only single family residence I think they ever did. And you know, wasn't the career path I saw for myself, but I quickly realized that there's a significant gap in this market. I felt like the typical home builder, you know, doesn't follow the same process as a commercial general contractor. And that process is put in place for a reason, right? Like the checks and balances, the systems that we do are standardized, right? You know, name the top 25 companies, they all generally work kind of the same way. And it's a science. It's set up that way for a reason. And that just didn't exist in home building. So I found that there's a gap that, you know, I think that there's a lot of things we learned that could apply to make this process, you know, just better for everyone involved, from the architects to the client, the homeowner, to deliver the project in a way that we can all be friends at the end of the day after doing so. Yeah. So, you know, fast forward, that's where we've really tried to find that niche of where we can add value as a builder that can deliver projects that I think no one else can really do. Not no one else. Let me get off my high horse here. But no, I think that we can deliver projects, and the types of projects, as in these crazy, you know, these crazy, just absolutely one-off mansions, the way that, you know, few can. And, you know, we have the ability to work through the details and the level of management we put into these homes, that, and the knowledge and the expertise that we have from that level. I think, it's a different way of doing things, but I think there is a demand and an ask for in the marketplace for it. So, yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, systems and processes, when you're like an entrepreneur, it's a different beast versus like just working at a big company where all the systems and processes are hopefully like in place.
100%.
And so, like, you know, just thinking about our business for the last couple of years, a lot of it, time and energy, has been spent building out the back office stuff. So when you were starting to hire out people, you have 18 people now. I mean, when did you start hiring people to build out those systems so that, you know, the front facing of the business can work really well? First, just like, you know, I don't know, like who were your first hires, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, immediately, right? Like, I realized I couldn't wear every hat. Like, it's funny how I got my first job, back to Scottsdale. So when I started the company, I was like, I'm doing this 100% with a clear head, right? Went to a party in Scottsdale. It was actually a GoPuff launch party, if you're familiar with the app. In Scottsdale, Brody Jenner was DJing, like, random, but I'll never forget it. Was at the party, you know, usually a time when I probably would have been under the influence and not really able to handle a conversation the way that I handled it. And met a guy, and long story short, asked me, Harrison. I was like, just talking to him, and he was like, well, what do you do? And I was like, you know, general contractor looking to start my own business, you know, background in multifamily. He's like, I invest in multifamily. I'm you know, looking at the Tampa market, like Sunbelt's where I invest. He was
no
like,
kidding.
do you want to grab coffee tomorrow? I was like, sure. And next thing you know, fast forward, I introduced him to a brokerage, and we found a little 16-unit apartment building in Hyde Park. And it was, I mean, that was it. It was like, all right, maxed them out pretty quickly, but I was like, this is what I got for now. And it's going to come due in 12 months. Either I'm going to be, in horrible financial, stress at this point or bankrupt or whatever, or we're going to figure this thing out. So, totally different, conversations, but yeah, it was figured out and, didn't have much to my name. So I'm like, how am I going to hire an employee? I have this job going on, but it can't really support multiple people. So I need to find somebody to take a bet on me. I went to one of my best friends and, made him an offer. He started considering, I courted him on this probably for like 6 months. We ended up landing our second client, who's been one of my biggest mentors, another 12-unit apartment building in St. Pete, and renovation, only a 50-year-old building at this point, but it had its challenges. And I was telling Mike, I was like, hey man, like they can hire somebody. Like, I really don't know what to do. Like, I got to get him to move from Maryland. Like, he was like, I'll give him an apartment for a year. And I was like, wow. Thank you. Like, you don't have to do that.
That makes the conversation a lot easier.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. So I was like, hey, free place to stay for a year, man. Come down to Tampa. And next thing you know, he joined me. So it's been several people like this. And like, I can't speak like positively enough about the Tampa community, where there's a lot of first generation entrepreneurs that have been in my life that have like given me a chance. I mean, David Kilcoyne gave me an office for a year for free. Like, wouldn't have been in the seat without it. There's been these people that have like helped us along the way that, it just changed the whole course and trajectory of my company. So
it's been cool to see that. Obviously Alan and I are both born and raised, and our wives too. We're all born and raised in Tampa, but we've seen obviously the community evolve. But to your point, what you said about these like first generation entrepreneurs that have come to the Tampa Bay area, I've seen it. I think we've witnessed it, close and personal. It's very cool to see how they're all gravitating towards the Tampa Bay area and market.
Sure.
But then that they're all doing what you're saying they did for you, which is collaborating and helping one another so that they can all kind of grow and be successful together, which is really cool.
Absolutely. And, we're working on both these clients' projects. I think we added a lot of value, and we really went well above and beyond for them, and we're still close friends to this day. Like, it's just, I think it's a byproduct of the area. If I think of Maryland, if I were to do the same thing I did, it's hey, this developer's working with their great grandfather's contractor that they've been working with for, it's that old money, kind of more ingrained system there versus like here. I think it's a lot more entrepreneurial. And
I was just starting to think about a Wire episode too. It's like, and then you also get like a duffel bag of cash, and they're like, hey, while we're doing this project, we also want you to do a couple other things for us.
Maybe a little bit of that. There's some really good Italian families in Baltimore too. I mean, Greek and Italian families, but there's a little bit of that, I'm sure, but didn't experience it that firsthand.
Well, Tampa has some of that in its DNA too with Ybor City. That's kind of how
we're not going to mention any names.
The neighborhood was started.
Kind of started to figure it out a little bit, but there's a little bit of that. But
that's funny.
Yeah, I mean, it just I don't know where I'd be today if I didn't have these people to help me along the way. I mean, that was that was the start of building the team, and then I've tried to take kind of the frameworks of at a much smaller scale of that old firm and start to build out the team, and and really build that model, but like I said, at a different scale. But now we're at a process point now where we're starting to scale up, and like I said, I'm not reinventing the wheel here. It's all what I learned from a really good place to learn it. So yeah,
that's amazing foundation to take to a residential build product and process, but also to the community and to the market. I mean, you mentioned scale up. So in your mind, for the vision for the company, when you say scale up, what does like right now look like? And then what does the next kind of stage of Fox Building Group look like?
Well, what the next step really is finding the core skill set of the people that we have and the things that they are passionate about, and putting them in the places where they can succeed. Something I'm, kind of early here, but we'll roll out formally is, we're starting to put people as, whatever industry, whatever whatever they're building, they're hyper focused on. Commercial is kind of its own thing, and we're starting to, whether people are retail focused or multifamily focused. My old firm, I go back to it a lot. But we had something called industry excellence groups, and like fortunately for me, he was VP at the time. I think he's now division vice president. He's high up the chain. He's the multifamily industry excellence leader, market president.
Let's say that 3 times fast.
Yeah, I'm probably getting the titles
No,
wrong, but like
great.
if you go to the website, Steve Mayork is right there, right?
Okay.
But he was, there was these really hyper focused groups for different types of building that really drilled down and got really skilled and talented in exactly that product that they were building. So across the commercial spectrum, we're starting to do that. Like I said, I have people that are super hyper retail, hospitality, multifamily, and then this home building division is now its own thing. FBG Homes, you'll see, is it is its own thing. Leadership slightly different, still all rolls up to me.
Are we breaking a Fox Building Group rebrand right now on the episode?
It's going to be a little bit more to it than that, but
okay. All right.
Yeah, that's kind of where we're going, right?
That's very cool. So like you're like each sub asset class basically.
Correct.
Under commercial and residential, you're getting an industry expert to basically be the lead or the tip of the spear.
Correct.
For that asset class build.
Absolutely.
Under the FBG umbrella.
Correct.
That's great. That's a really cool idea.
Well, and and we've been in a point, it's weird. Like I said, my background was primarily multifamily. I've hired other people in leadership positions that have experience in different asset classes to be kind of, this is where we were going. Like this was not something I just came up with overnight. I hired my number 2, Dom. He built like 30 targets up in targets in the Starbucks connected to him up in the Northeast, right? I wanted him to be my retail leader. Mm-hmm. That's where we're going for Big Pogs Retail. Hopefully one day we're building Publixes and things like that in Florida. That's where we want that to go. Multifamily is obviously mine. I've built a team around that. So like this was all part of the plan. And then by the way, hey, we built some homes. I got really interested in home building. It's cool, right? You're building somebody's place where they're going to have a family, raise a family, like I'm currently doing, somewhere that they're super passionate about with super intricate details, especially when you get to this upper echelon we're going to, that, it's just very creative, and it like turns my gears a different way. And we have people that are passionate about it. I want to put them in the place to succeed there and build a structure that works for that. So it's a lot of the same processes, the accounting, the quality management, all that's kind of the same. It's just like getting the people that are passionate about what they're building in the right, in the right spot. So, that's what we're doing currently, and that's where we're headed. So it's not perfect, but we're getting in a good spot where I feel like we're going to just continue to get better and evolve in each of those like subsectors of the industry. So yeah,
that's really cool, and it's cool to see. I'm sure the plan, like you said, start to slowly take shape and these pieces to fall into place too. Which is neat to see as a business owner.
When I first met you, Mike, it was a couple of years ago, and I met you, I think, alongside your wife, Summer. I think at the time, I don't even know if you were engaged yet. Maybe you were just boyfriend, girlfriend at the time.
Might have been, yeah.
But what related all of us together is my wife works with us in ASG. Janina works with us in ASG. And I know Summer brings her set of skills. And I know she does a lot with you guys. She's an interior designer.
Yep.
So, how did that work out in terms of, having you and your wife work together, just pros and cons and synergies?
It was a learned thing at first, right? Like how to separate the business from family life. I think it was a little bit of butting heads at first, but like the less I got involved with the day to day, I think helped a lot. And like we learned, there's a time for business, there's a time for our family, and I think that helped a lot in a clear delineation line. And
because it's easy to blur those lines when you're with that person
100%,
24/7,
and we're both passionate about what we do, right? But there's sometimes you just need the drop work, and I think it's much easier now with the baby. Like when I'm spending time with the baby, we're trying now. One of my 2026 goals is 3 nights after 6 p.m. we don't have our phones, things like that.
I started the same thing. I put it on sleep mode, so like I don't get notifications, because I'm a slave to the notifications. If I get a
100%.
notification or a bing or a ding, I'm on it. And I used to be really bad. I used to be like wake up at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. sometimes, and I'd check my phone first thing when I'd open my eyes.
No phone in the room.
I would respond to my emails. So like,
love
I
that
put it
too.
in a sack now, or I don't know what it's called, but
You put it in a sack. What do you like going to
Do you
like
have,
a
like-
Chappelle show?
yeah,
Like
it's an Oregon Trail thing. I put it in a satchel. No, I forget what it's called. It's like a bag, but you put it in, like it's supposed to keep
the EMFs.
the EMFs. Yeah,
That sounds like something Christine would do.
yeah. She might have
She wants
actually
us to like
recommended
turn
it.
off our Wi-Fi at night.
Now, does it stop?
Nina was talking
like,
about that recently too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it stops like I've seen, like, I've been targeted on Instagram. My buddies have
Oh,
it.
you're
like,
definitely
the
gonna be
chip
targeted
that
now.
yeah, where it like blocks like
It's supposed to do that, yeah.
the
But it's also like
radiation or
out of sight,
whatever.
out of mind kind of thing.
Absolutely,
So,
yeah.
I mean that's great, especially with a new baby.
Yeah, I got targeted for like the brick thing too,
Yeah.
like where
I've
you
been
put it on
hit
your
with that
phone and
one.
it locks it out. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's quite practical. There's a lot of
I have a
moving
buddy that
parts,
went all the
but
way back to like he's got like a burner phone. He got rid of his iPhone, so he has no smartphone.
What industry
Why,
is
why
he
does
in?
he have a burner phone though?
Well, I call it a burner phone, but it's like it's something that we
We'll go back to the wire
kids.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
the
about to say,
kids
what
are-
industry is he? Logistics, shipping.
yeah, imports, exports.
Waste management.
Yeah. But yeah, he does not get emails on his phone. You can only just call in and call out. And that's
Yeah.
it.
Let's just go back to the rotary phone.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
I
we
mean,
got
we're
off on a
so
tangent,
plugged
but
in,
yeah.
and like, I mean, I have my opinion maybe has changed a little bit. Like, we don't want screens around the baby, and
Kids
I
will do
see
that
why
to
some
you.
people do it now. I don't know. We're going to try to be prudent about that, but we want to be present there, right, and separate from the work. But our working relationship on that, I mean, there is a ton of synergies, like, and it's worked out well. I mean, we work with other firms, but she's able to understand the inner workings of our business and what we need to thrive and succeed on these residential builds that she's on. And we've done a couple commercial, but she's been more focused on residential lately. She's working with our budgets, so we're like able to, obviously a lot of difficult conversations around, construction in general, but more residential is the budget, the money, right?
Yeah.
And it's hard because I think commercial is very defined, right? I get a set of drawings. Everything I need to know about that project is there. And if I have a question, it's just direct to the architect and, engineer, whoever, and that problem's solved. And it's a B2B transaction, right? It's not emotional for the most part. It's just, hey, what do you guys need to get this space operational?
The
for your
build
business?
efficiency is the number one goal.
100% versus, hey, we're going to live here. And like, I was telling you earlier, I give my clients, tell them like, hey, don't change your mind a lot if you want this to go quickly. But then I'm building my personal house now, and now I'm changing my mind. I've changed the drawings 3 times, and I'm like, I get it. You're going to live here, and this is maybe their forever home. Like, you want it to be exactly the way you want it.
Because I was going to ask or clarify. So for the residential builds, it's probably a mix, but is it a mix between, I guess, spec builds and then like custom? You're building it for the actual homeowner.
Most of what we build, when I define residential, it's the FBG Homes division is single family residential. What is a single home? If we do some for sale townhomes, we do those which are more spec builds that are to be sold. That's more the commercial division.
Okay.
But FBG Homes is really just single family builds. And yes, there are a few spec homes in there, not for myself. We build for developers.
Got it.
We likely will build some specs for ourselves, but it's just not where we're focused. I don't want to, I don't know. Yes, I would like to be a developer, but that isn't my background. I'm a civil engineer, worked at a large construction company, started my own. Like, I would like to stay in my lane for the most part. That's kind of where my head's at. I also see the opportunity, and we may, I'm building this home that I may sell as well, and maybe that's the catalyst. But right now I'm focused on building and getting really good at what I do, right, at scale. So yeah, single family is primarily customs, but there is a few spec homes mixed in there too for developers that are going to sell it themselves, not us. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
And then for those custom builds, with obviously having someone like Summer on the team and being able to lean into her design side of things, or is that if the homeowner does not already have a designer attached to the project, so is she coming in like out the gate on the architectural design planning stage, or when
Ideally,
does she kind of get
yes.
involved?
Like our perfect world, like, and we may lean more into design build in here in the future, but our perfect world, she's involved on the front end and helps develop, something we call, like, we have like a bid spec sheet that defines at least some level of finishes that go in your home. Like, generally every home we build is generally, for sale, probably over 4 million, at least 4 million,
Okay.
And we kind of set non-negotiables almost with our clients. We give flexibility, sure, but like at that level, we know what that house is asking for, and she can help take them there. Like, yeah, it's probably going to have Wolf Sub-Zero, Cove appliances, or Thermador. It's going to be at that upper echelon that we're going to start our budget with, and she can help guide them to that's what we want. That way, we have an accurate budget that she knows what they have to spend throughout. Where it's we're going to start here and end here type conversation versus everything's an upgrade. And like,
Right.
Does that price us out of the marketplace somewhat? Maybe, but like, I think we're realizing that's the area we probably want to play in, and maybe only do a handful of homes a year, but we're going to do the homes where we can add a lot of value because it's a lot of, concierge, white glove touch service. So
Yeah, what are you seeing the consumers that are in that price point, 4 or 5, 6 million plus? What are they wanting in their homes that are, I would say, different than the $1 to $2 million spec homes that are being built? Like, are like home theaters, massive hidden pantries in the kitchen? Like, what are those cool design items that like that?
The answer is everything. But then
what are the ones
like,
that you?
no, it's a good question. It's really tailored to the personality of the individuals,
Right.
and it can be super custom elements, right? Yeah, you'll have your standard. Yeah, you have a full butler's pantry, like that's more of a chef's kitchen because they may not cook for themselves, right?
Right.
Things you don't really think about. There might be, full home automation. There's thing called Josh AI, where I can literally, start to have machine learning figuring out how I live in my space and start tailoring lighting scenes for what you do that given time of day. So then you have integrated lighting controls and AV controls, turn on your music at a certain hour, all that starts this home automation integration. Yeah, those are some of the upper echelon stuff.
I think of Tony Stark's house in the first Iron Man. I love that house, and I love that scene when he wakes up and the window shades go up.
You're right, motorized roller shades.
Yeah. And the house says, good morning to him.
Right.
Like, this is amazing.
And those are the things people don't realize. Those aren't things you add on later on. These are very early on decisions that need to be made. And we got our customers through, the pre-wiring and, understanding that a low voltage package in the house can range from 10 grand to 200, it depending on what you want. If you want the full motorized roller shades, AV, integrated light controls that can go back to your whole house is on your phone or an iPad. Like, you got to really pre-plan for this stuff and have the budget to do so. But the custom stuff gets crazy too, man. Like, figuring out things that maybe nobody's done before. We had dog bowl filler spout, like you have like a pot filler in your kitchen at the dog bowls that were integrated part of the kitchen island. We had a shower seat that was custom CNC milled for the exact body type of one of our clients in his shower.
Just to like sit down in the shower?
Yeah, like a shower seat, like a
I wanna make sure I
lounger.
understood that. So like
when you're wealthy, you don't stand when you shower.
Well, and you also get the seat molded to your exact buttocks
to your exact
specifications.
Correct.
So we're talking about cheekage. Like they
no,
molded
it
this?
didn't have like an indentation,
What's
but
going
it followed like the curvature of his body laying in the seat. And the shower had 2 steam generators. So I can steam it out in 10 seconds. These really custom one-off elements that something they care about in their daily life that they want their home tailored to. So
that's hilarious. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's some cool stuff, and it's like you get to know the personality of these people and the things that they want, what's important to them.
So for these custom builds, I mean, what's been the coolest or most difficult construction element that you've been faced with or had to try to figure out on the construction side?
That shower seat was not easy, and like figuring out how all the tile sloped, for this massive, like I forget the exact dimensions. It was, I think, net like 200 square foot shower. Like it was huge.
That was
it's
my first New York City apartment. Was 200 square feet.
Yeah, that was half of my DC apartment.
it was just a different detail, but like we had all the baseboards in the home light up like a movie theater. Like that was one thing that was like an intricate element that we hadn't done before. And what does that mean? You had to get the floor perfectly flat to align with the track of the baseboard, and just a different level of quality that you had to go to.
And that's something you're figuring out at the slab stage, right? I mean, does that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
you had to figure it
starts
out
with like the concrete slab work.
Right. And then it was like, okay, well, that meant the floor tile had to go down before you drywall, which is totally different, right? Like, because you had to get it perfectly flat. And then the track met the floor tile. Then you finish the drywall, because the drywall was mudded in, or the track was mudded into, for the baseboard track was mudded into the drywall. So it was just, it's just interesting details like that aren't typical of every home. Just slap some baseboard, and hell, if you have quarter round, even easier, and you just walk away, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
So it's just getting into like that highest of the highest end where people want everything considered, right? Do you want the no case doors? Like basically you have no door casing, where it's just a mud in finish to the door, to the door frame.
We're seeing that a lot now.
Yeah.
That's one of my wife's favorite features.
Love it.
She does not like casing.
Yeah. No, me either.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the modern detail. And they have the ones, not illuminated baseboard, but they have the no baseboard look with just like the reglet, where you finish up, basically drywall above and below. Like that is the upper echelon. Like that's what I've seen on like, Palm Beach homes, like, which I think is where we're trending towards, right? Like we are a discount Miami, South Florida, still, on the cost per square foot basis. Like we're, what the upper echelon, like just think the condo market, we're at 1,500 square foot. They start at 4.
Yeah, I mean the Edition
Yeah.
Hotel maybe is 1,500 square foot, and some of the other ones like Hyde Park House and the Ritz are maybe like 1,000. Or are you mainly just doing Hillsborough County and Pinellas County for the single family residences?
For now, I mean, our goal is to get to South Florida. We've done a few projects there. I think there's just like, I think that fits the brand if we want to be that type of concierge builder in the single family space. There's a lot more money in that market, right?
Yeah.
Which county out of the two that you work in now in the Tampa area is like the easiest one, less red tape? Which city, when you're calling them or when you're trying to figure out,
Yeah. From
honestly, Bel Air's
permitting.
been great. The
Bel Air?
beaches, yeah. I mean, it's the smaller municipalities, which can have their challenges, also the benefits that things can move a little bit faster with less red tape. But yeah, I mean, they're all challenged right now. Like, I'm not going to sit here and point fingers. Like, it's just we were inundated with 2 major hurricanes in 12 months. Like, I get it. Like, I mean, 2 major hurricanes in 2 weeks, really. But
and then already
adapt-
understaffed departments in all these municipalities and counties.
100%.
So it is tough.
Yeah, they're bombarded now with all of the new builds from cleaning up this hurricane. So like, I totally understand. And Adalia, I feel like isn't talked about enough. That impacted me. I have 18 inches of water in my own home. There, it's really been 3 major hurricanes. So like, I get it. But yeah, I mean, they both have, both of the bigger jurisdictions, whether it's the city of Tampa, city of St. Pete, definitely have their challenges right now. But I feel like we're working through them and things are getting better. So we just got to keep collaborating with the jurisdictions and try to get to a point where things can move a little more predictably.
I was going to ask you that. So, I mean, in that pre-planning or pre-construction process, what is like the biggest hurdle or biggest, I guess, time suck? Because obviously that's a big complaint from a lot of people in the community, and anyone building their own home obviously is timeline, and a lot of things are outside of your control or hands.
Absolutely.
So is there something in the pre-planning or permitting process that is a big holdup right now, or that you're seeing that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's all of it, right? Like, we obviously we build a lot of waterfront homes, and there's a lot of due diligence items that you need to cover on the front end that, we're having significant wait times, which are all getting better now. I think those are a little more of a challenge when the initial, the blowback from the hurricanes. but it was waiting on a geotech report, getting somebody out there to do soil borings, been told 2 to 3 months with some providers. I mean, we had great relationships and we got people out there pretty quickly. I think and then, I mean, it's just permitting it's been a challenge. I always preach, hire a good architect. That's your first line of defense, right?
That was gonna be one of my next questions, actually.
Yeah.
The architects you've worked with, and if you've noticed a difference between working with local architects or designers and then maybe out of state architects or designers.
I mean, Florida is a challenge, right? When anybody comes out of state and tries to build here, it is speaking. It is a totally different environment, especially if you're building coastal. I mean, just terms I've never heard of before, when it comes to FEMA and building an elevated home, like it's a whole different animal. But, I really say with design, and I really can't preach it enough, like those guys and gals don't get paid enough. Like there's so much work that goes into it, and hire somebody that you trust, understand their scope of services and their level of involvement. You do have to pay for the things, like nothing comes for free.
Yeah.
And, I can't say out of state is even bad, because I know or out of state or out of market is even bad, because I've seen some really talented architects in the market that or came into the market with like a really high level of design. It's just,
that's what I was going to say, is I think sometimes, being in the industry, and we obviously walk and we sell a lot of spec builds, and a lot of them are beautiful, but then because it's a speculative build, they want to work within the confines of the budget and the margin, and they want to hit their exit. I think I'm excited, and I think it's great if we can get more out of state or out of market designers to come in and be a part of the architectural community in the Tampa Bay area, because I think our community is like thirsty for more unique designs.
Well, and the white boxes are going to continue until
until people stop buying them.
Until people stop buying them, until there's a surplus. And, I really think that, there's, especially in a challenging market right now, you give a little bit more on the front end. And like I said, I'm not a developer, don't claim to be, but like the ones that I've seen have massive success, and, a few of my clients very much do. Will Conroy, I think I can't say enough about how much value he gives for whatever return he gets. I think he's given well above what comps in the marketplace are giving, and I think it's a testament to why his stuff moves, and why he continues to,
because the design is
is forward. He's designed forward, and he is really putting way more value. I mean, it's elevate everything from the elevated plumbing light fixtures to giving on the townhome project, he had elevators, he was giving when that price point really wasn't really asking for that. A lot of comps didn't have that, things like that.
These are the same conversations we have with the developers and builders that we work with when we have the opportunity or ability to collaborate at that stage with them on a project. You're probably going to get more on the exit if you spend a little bit more on doing something. It may narrow the buyer profile,
if you're
but
doing
they're
a
going to
boring,
pay for it.
if you're doing a boring white box now, you're going to be at the very low end of new construction sales, and that is a business for some builders, and that's fine. But if you're trying to sell something for $3 million plus, a white box isn't going to get it done.
And for me, like I said, I'm not building spec. I will build spec. Like, I think it's not an if, it's a when. But like I have a brand that I'm trying to build and maintain, right? And I don't want to be signed up for the white boxes, right? I want to build something that we're proud of, and I'm just very much of the business. And anybody that's worked with me, I'd rather hit singles and doubles. I don't need a home run on every deal, because we're here for the long haul, and eventually those incremental wins will turn into a substantial long-standing business over time. So, and like I said, like I think giving more value on the front end, you might reduce, NOI at the end of the day. But like, I mean, if you think about all the other operational things from your carry, and if it's for sale residential, that, it's just going to sit on market forever. Like, give something on the front end, you might get rid of it quicker on the back end. I think that's a better strategy. And like you said, you can you can be proud of it at the end of the day. Like, I think we all want a little bit of that, or at least some of us do. Some people just see a number and it's fine, but we want to be, known in the community for quality. So
I think the market's shifting too. I think you can accomplish both. You can accomplish the business goal of, making money and hitting a healthy margin on the project, but also staying true to your brand identity, to your point and what you were saying as a developer or builder, and doing something that's a little bit more unique outside the box. The buyers are going to come, and I think the market is trending in that direction from a buyer standpoint, and then also from a design standpoint.
Sure.
Even some of the spec guys that used to do more kind of simple, like, God, what's the word I was looking for? Yeah, I guess the white box aesthetic. They are now starting to put more products out to the market that are a little more design forward, a little more unique, a little more daring on some of the design components, and it's working. They're selling them.
In terms of cost, how have you seen the effect of tariffs? If I mean, is it overblown? You see the headlines, and obviously it's very politically charged. And obviously, since COVID, the cost of everything has gone way up, but tariffs in particular, what do you think? Is it something to worry about, or?
I mean, tariffs, there was an impact on aluminum that hit windows, things like that. And we have a lot of aluminum windows in our projects. Steel was real. There was a lot of tangible. There were some tangible increases. There was a lot of noise, and I think there was a little bit of opportunism as well for people to continue to drive an inflated price upwards in terms of building materials.
Tariffs, yeah.
Right. I think we've definitely, anybody knows it, right? You guys, I'm sure know, like, there's been a softening in the residential housing market.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yep.
I think we've seen some relief lately. Like, numbers I've seen as of last week are better than I expected. So I think we'll continue to see that. But hey, if there's a boom again, like, I think they'll go right back up, which continues to make these prices never seem to go down.
No,
really.
once they hit a certain amount, then they stay.
Yeah. There's a lumber issue now with Canadian lumber. I'm sure you've
That's
seen
what I've heard, yeah.
shutting down mills. We
Yeah.
got an alert about that last week. I don't know.
I heard
my
at one
clients
point,
listening. I don't want to freak
yeah.
anybody out, but like that appears to be real. So I don't have actual numbers to support it yet, but like those things are happening. It's a challenging time, and our clients want us to hold their prices as long as we can, but it's 30 days. And if it keeps going like this, I pray we don't get back to COVID times where we're holding a price for 10 days and, you got to make a decision.
I'm not involved in that level of the process. So how does that process work? How easy is it to shop materials and suppliers? Or is it kind of like you have your 2 or 3 suppliers that you typically are purchasing materials from, and those are really it in the industry or in the market here?
We are now at the scale, which I think is where we can add value and have deliver the same amount of value for a more competitive price, where we can start going out to our suppliers and say, hey, I bought X millions dollars worth of windows from you this year. Like, give me a discount. And we have one, at least one, I think a second, but I'm still watch numbers these days. But with another supplier, there are 2 leaders here in the industry. I don't want to say which ones, but
of course.
they, we went out to them and said, hey, we have the buying power. We're not a Lennar or D.R. Horton built, with the type of volume they do, but we're not a small shop either. Like we are spending 7 figures plus on building materials now. So I think that's something that'll be able to reduce our price, but still provide the same amount of value, because we pass that along to our clients.
Right.
So, we haven't just, optimized that in margins where a lot of others have. We've taken our discounts we get from every single supplier and pass them directly to our clients. So
I've always been curious about how that process works. So
and they hold the prices for 30 days right now. Is that what you were saying?
Generally that's what we hold 30. That's pretty typical of the industry.
But you said during COVID times it was more like 10.
Oh yeah. At COVID it was, people were holding like same day type thing. And it's difficult, because the second a client tells us to go, we have to go through our procurement process, which, I mean, if you ever negotiate anything, you kind of only want to negotiate once and have cash in hand ready to go. Facetiously, I say cash, but contract in hand ready to go. Like if I'm signing, I'm fully certain of what I'm buying, right? So like it's a procurement process where I need to make sure this quote is fully validated. And when somebody's up against you with some kind of escalation factor or some kind of tariff or outside noise, it's just a challenge for us because we have to cut purchase orders and subcontracts very quickly to make sure we mitigate any impacts to our client's bottom line or ours, right? If we're at risk where we don't have escalation, which is, kind of standard in most of our contracts, but we don't want that conversation for anybody. We want to do our best interest for our clients and not have them spend unnecessary dollars if we can. So
we've talked a lot about the building process and what goes into it. Why don't we talk a little bit about current projects you have in the works right now? We can start with residential since we've been talking residential.
I was about to say,
What do you currently have going up in the residential space?
This is funny. Architect called me this morning. I was like, how many projects do you have going on? I was like, I don't know. I guess starting geographically, working down the beaches. I mean, we have 235 Howard Drive where we did the Spotlight episode there.
That was a really cool build.
Yeah, super cool house. I
want to come back for that one, by the way, when it's
absolutely.
Finished.
Love to have you guys.
We'll do a follow-up Spotlight.
Yeah. What is that, 7,000 under
yeah,
roof?
7,400 AC, 12,000 under roof. Really cool house. Looking to deliver that in August, September is our target right now.
And that's a spec, so there's no end buyer right now.
No end buyer right now. But
really cool build on the end of the cul-de-sac on the water right there. And I mean, if you haven't watched it yet, go watch the Spotlight Series episode on our channel. But walking that build with you at the framing stage was really cool. But even hearing you talk about the level of detail and complexity of the slat, like the concrete work and the curvature of the concrete to match the curvature of the seawall. I mean, that's like the unique, really cool stuff that you usually only see in a custom build.
And it's such a functional design too. If you went through, every bedroom in there is like, an ensuite bedroom, water facing, where there's a view in every single one of those 7 bedrooms. Like because of following that curvature, and then
which I love. You built the house is being designed and built for the lot that it's on.
Exactly, and the return glass in each one of those bedrooms with the curvature still gives you that causeway view. And it's like unlike any other home there. Like everything has an A+ view no matter what. So just hats off to like Mancini on the design there. That was brilliant. And the cast and play structure, it's a very challenging build. So
I don't want to go too far in the weeds, but I do think I'm super interested and fascinated by it. So when you say cast in place, like for the concrete, like explain the process in a nutshell, what that means. Cause it's not every day.
Yeah.
Like a residential
as opposed
build
to a typical
that.
home, like, most homes in this area are CMU blocks, like think the 8-inch block with the hollow cells that get poured in if they're structural,
right?
And then like a wood truss floor system. Your interior walls are framed out wood trusses. This home is primarily all formed and poured concrete, which is just a much more substantial, much more labor intensive build. And the fact that it has like the curved elements and all these cantilevers, the building structure is hanging off of itself, just creates a ton of challenges. And it has a lot of structural reinforcing steel. And it's molding a sculpture versus production. It's just a different type of build. So
will that make it more hurricane proof?
Oh yeah, I mean
that should make it everything.
It's
proof.
a bomb shelter. Yeah. And some of those like columns and the cantilevers and taper beams. I mean, there's more steel than concrete there. It's a freaking.
I was going to say,
shelter.
It sounds like listening to you describe it and then walking it and seeing the scope of it. It's like it feels like how you would build a high rise or a condo tower.
Yeah, it's more of a commercial building.
Yeah.
In the construction of this thing than it is a home, and that's where we added value, right? There's if it were a box, that would be a totally different thing, and take half the time and half the effort. So,
what stage of construction are you guys in on that one?
Drywall.
Drywall. Okay. So when's the projected completion date?
End of this year. So
okay.
Shooting for August, September. So is the target. Then I guess kind of moving down the beach, Reddington Shores. We have a custom home going up there, actually for one of our employees. It's pretty cool. Well, much like me, were wiped out in the hurricane too. So unfortunate, but they are getting a new home on the water there in Reddington Shores, Tarpon Drive in Dare Beach or Treasure Island. Sorry. We are drywall there as well.
So you got a lot up and down the beaches right now.
Yeah,
it sounds like
architect's home there. Hopefully starting another home in Blind Pass soon. In Mad Beach. What am I missing on beach side? Yeah, I think that's it for beach side. And then into St. Pete, my personal residence, wrapping up a 110-year-old historical adaptive reuse on Mirror Lake with Will Conroy. Basically converted what was a home, then an attorney's office, back to a home. The Cade Allen house. Cade Allen was a developer in the city of St. Pete, one of the kind of building blocks of the city. No pun intended. He built these beautiful homes throughout St. Pete. I'm sure you've seen with natural stone imported from New York, upstate New York, down to Tampa or down to St. Pete. And this was his personal residence. So bring it back to its original glory with all the modern features. So super cool project. Part of the greater Cade collection development there. We're hopefully also doing the adjacent house, which was Cade was ECAD was the architect and interior designer, wrapping that up soon, delivering that here in April for Will. The adjacent house was designed by Tim Clemens, well-known St. Pete architect, place architecture. Has more of the natural stone elements, brand new construction house, and then there's a 7-story condo building that we are unfortunately not building out back. But Tim Clemens designed that as well, all in this very tight lot in St. Pete. So a
lot in the pipeline for you guys on the residential side.
Yeah, I mean that's not even Tampa, but
that's not even Tampa.
Oh yeah, I mean St. Pete. We have Clemens Court, Tim Clemens, my maybe third architect home I'm building currently. Tim Clemens' personal residence, hence Clemens Court. 6 units, 4 single families, 2 rentals. It's like this kind of little mixed use development, ground floor retail in the front on First Ave North in St. Pete. Delivering that in April. And then Tampa side, we have a beach park, 6,000 square foot, super custom residence. Honestly, it's the first thing you see when you come into Tampa. If you're driving across the Howard Franklin, we're right in the cul-de-sac there. Private individual there. Don't want to share addresses. Love to take you guys there sometime.
Oh, definitely.
Don't need to dox anyone right now.
Yeah, no doxing.
No.
In Sevilla, we're building a private residence as well. We are building, I guess, the more 10 townhomes off South Gomez in South Tampa. Davis Islands, we're starting 4 homes here soon. Break ground on Lucerne next week, and then 3 other residences there. And trying to think anything else from the single family side.
Man. Yeah. You guys are busy.
Yeah.
You need every one of those 18 employees.
Yeah. I mean,
more.
I was gonna say or maybe more. I don't know.
Yeah, and some of them are in different stages, but yeah, I mean we are.
I guess that's the good news is that they're all in different stages, and then a lot of these, like you said, you're working with the end buyer or user, and so that's a different experience and kind of
just sitting on a ton of spec builds.
On a ton of inventory that you need to move, obviously, to get cash flow back into the
100%.
business. So
it's a different business.
It's a different business model.
But yeah, I mean, it's like you said, you really can't have enough people for these. Just the way we build, the bigger homes, 2 or 3 of the bigger homes we're building require full-time on-site management, and I think that's something no one else does. If you look at Howard Drive now, you haven't been there since we did the episode, but
no,
I have a construction office trailer there with somebody there full-time.
Oh, no kidding.
Every single part and piece go into that home every single day. That's the level you need to build, $10+ million homes, right? And same with my beach park residence. It's the same thing, and just the level of detail is insane, right? And the building materials you're using, it can be consequential to destroy some of the things that are going in there. You know, that house, for example, they have $175,000 worth of plumbing fixtures.
Is that all?
That's all. Like $12,000 toilets. Like, you can't screw that stuff up. Somebody drops and breaks it. We have
$12,000 toilet with a seat casted directly for each individual buttocks.
Yeah, it's just that level, you know. And
Yeah.
it's like, you need to have eyes, right? Like, these are substantial investments people are making in these homes. So
it's also like it's that's a cool experience to be able to build this level of custom design too, because again, I go back to the design and architectural element of it. You're in the Tampa Bay area, it sounds like working on like cutting edge projects from a design standpoint that like is not the norm right now. And you can take a lot of those elements, to your point, if and when you ever want to go into the spec world maybe, and take a lot of these elements and things that you're learning from these very high-end architectural custom designs and, you know, pepper them into a spec build.
Yeah, it's just, these have to be thought through ahead of time. It is very hard to make these changes after the fact. So like, if and when I build spec, I would, as I progress in, when I build spec, as I progress into it, I definitely would be design forward with some of the elements, but just some of these things, the dollars probably and I say that, I think all these homes would sell for a very good return for the individuals we're building for. But, I mean, some of this, it's extremely intricate and difficult. Like, I mean, there's the one house, we have a $600,000 glass package. Like, I mean, it's just the level of details, full curtain wall, structural glass the whole way up, like on a high rise. Like, those are, there's a lot of coordination with many trades that needs to happen there. Hence the need for a full-time on-site manager to be able to work through these details.
Are there any good wine cellars in these high-end residences?
Yeah.
All right. Then we'll need the addresses in there.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's good wine that will be in them. So
I have no doubt they'll be stocked very well.
Yeah. So yeah, and that's, once again, the commercial background. I think that's what allows us to take this on. Otherwise, like, I mean, it's just, it's too many moving parts.
Yeah.
And it's just a ton of coordination. So it warrants everything we do. So,
well, I know we've talked a lot about the business element, and I know you've got to get back to all these jobs that you just kind of ran through on the residential side. So I know you're busy on the business side, but you did mention earlier that you just had a baby. So before we let you go, I did want to just check in on you in summer. And how many hours of sleep are you getting? How is new baby life?
We had one of those sleep regressions lately.
You guys are in the trenches right now.
Yeah. But I mean, look, he has slept so good, and he is my perfect baby boy. Stallone Blue Fox is his name.
God, what a name. Guy was born to be a star.
Stallone Blue Fox.
Oh, he's perfect, man. Yeah. And it's just, you know, I just want to spend as much time with him as possible, which is, it obviously is a challenge with the business, but
a couple more months you can start taking him on site.
Yeah. No, I know.
Get a little baby.
He's never doing what daddy does.
Get him on the payroll at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stallone's going to be a developer. He's not going to be a contractor.
Yeah.
But no, it's, he's the joy of my life, man. And, my wife has been such a good mama, and she, you know, loves and cares for that child. And yeah, I can't, because it makes me emotional.
How's Maddox doing with
He's been a good brother so far. He definitely has some protective issues.
Maddox is a great Dane, right?
Yeah. So we have a 150-pound lap dog that sleeps with us every night. Looks like a Dalmatian too. He's definitely dealt with a lot of changes recently, but it's funny when he does go and like protect his brother mode. It's serious, and like we'll go for a walk like on Coffee Pot, and like it's funny. We'll be walking alongside of him and just like checking. Like I can tell him he's like checking on him, and I'm like, God, that's awesome. But
that's cool.
I can tell he'll be fine, but he doesn't know how big he is. Like he comes and like sits next to me when I'm holding Stallone, and I'm like, dude, if you're any closer, you would crush him. So a little bit on edge. I know, but he's doing good.
We've experienced it. You know, we have two boys. They're older now, but it's crazy. Obviously, everything from a perspective standpoint changes in your life when you have a baby. But it is also funny how your pet or your dog, who was like
the baby
of the family, all of a sudden becomes a second-class citizen once that baby comes 100%. Into the house.
We warn our dog all the time. It's like, things
Yeah,
are
you
changed.
need to put Frankie on notice. It is a real thing.
Yeah, we try after he goes to bed 7:30 because we're on the mom's on call schedule. I don't know if you guys did that whole thing, but like I make sure I give him time because I do feel so bad, and I don't know if you ever heard like Great Danes, real thing is they can get heartbroken,
Yeah.
like actually
Really?
die.
Oh, whoa. I didn't
Like
know that.
Summers, she grew up with Great Danes, and like one passed away, the other one passed. And it's like super sad, but like I'm always like worried about that. Like give him attention, make sure this is Buddy's time now. Like
The Great Dane lobbyists, they definitely
Yeah,
they
I'm
work,
like-
they worked that one in there somehow. I don't know how you can scientifically prove it, but I'm not going to discount it.
yeah, no, it's look it up. It's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
horrible.
But,
Jesus, no pressure on you guys.
yeah, no, yeah. I mean, she somehow keeps our household together. So,
That's amazing.
yeah.
Should we get to some rapid fire?
Yeah, you want to get into some rapid fire questions?
Shoot.
All right.
Start it off.
So, Mike, by the end of the year, let's just say higher or lower for some of these asset classes.
Okay.
Well, let's start with interest rates at the end of the year, higher or lower than now.
I pray lower.
Okay. Bitcoin.
Better be higher. So I keep dollar cost averaging in, I guess, or just YOLOing in. I don't know, but yeah. Anyway,
Home prices in at least in our area.
if it correlates with interest rates, I mean, we're going back up, right?
What about stock market?
It's weird times we live in. I mean, interest rates go down. Hopefully, it goes up. But was that priced in with the decrease? I don't know, dude. Don't have a crystal ball.
Favorite restaurant right now in Tampa? I'm a food guy, so I always want to ask people where they're.
You're a food blogger.
Yeah, that's my side job.
Meat market.
Meat market.
Okay.
Yeah.
Classic. Represent my clients.
What
Yeah.
about St. Pete? What's your favorite spot right now in St. Pete?
Honestly, 4-2 is like,
Okay.
I think that's absolutely.
Nina and I just went there when we did like a little staycation weekend in St.
Bang.
Pete. Oh my god, it was so good. We did
It's so
we did
good.
brunch there,
Yeah.
and it was unbelievable.
Yeah. No, I love 4-2. Trying to think what else would be go to there.
What are you doing for date night? You know, when summer's ready, where are you gonna go?
We finally just got out, which thank God. I mean,
Oh, good.
yeah. I mean, we love to go out to eat. We're trying to feel like that's kind of a cop out. You know, we're trying to get more like activities based. I don't know.
Oh, we talk. Nina and I talk about that all the time too. Same thing. It's like we always that would be like our date night is restaurants, but we're moving away from that and more of like, yeah, let's go do like a fun activity together.
Yeah.
Instead.
Yeah. I mean, we started the whole golf thing together, which
You did?
I think she could do very well. But yeah, I mean, we're only 3 months postpartum at this point.
Yeah.
So it's been hard to do much, but we're starting to get out and about again. We bought a golf cart at the end of the year, and now we strapped the car seat to it. So
Nice.
like we can cruise that downtown. So we're starting to get around again, which is cool. So, yeah, we were very much either work or in the house for a while. So it's nice to get out and about again. Almost came to Gasparilla, but we were like, nah, it's too cold. Like,
Next year.
Next
You got a
year.
party to come to next
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
weather wasn't great this year.
It was a tough year for
It's
Gasparilla.
tough with the Gasparilla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Would you rather build in Tampa or St. Pete?
Like for his home or just
It's a
in
cop
general?
out answer, but like I bought the office in Tampa for a reason. I like that I have the diversity of both markets.
Yeah.
I live in St. Pete. I love St. Pete. There might be a world where I live in Tampa at some point, but I love Tampa too, and I think they're just two unique markets that have great things to offer on both sides. So I think they're kind of one and the same for me, and I'm glad that I get to see both.
What
Great
about
answer.
best place to buy a second home if your first home is in this area?
Well, you have one home in Tampa, one in St. Pete, right?
Different state. Let's go different state.
Different
I
state.
know where he's gonna say.
Yeah.
Nashville.
Yeah, I knew.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we do have the office in Nashville.
I know we didn't really touch on that, but you do have a Nashville presence now too.
Yep. And yeah, no, I love Nashville. It's really became the entertainment. Like I love country music, but it's more than that. It's really the entertainment. It's the LA of the East Coast at this point. And I mean, look at all of the corporations that went there. The music industry's there. It's crazy the growth that's been seen in Nashville, and I love it. And the food scene's absolutely amazing.
It is.
I mean, all of the big hospitality groups are there. I mean, you name it, they're there, and it's a cool hustling, bustling market to be a part of. And
There's so much more in Nashville too, because one of my good friends lived there for years, and they've been back now to Tampa, I think for like 5 years now, 6 years. But we would go visit them all the time, and there's more to Nashville than just like downtown and what is it, Broadway? Yeah, and like that whole scene, like the outside pockets, the 5 Points, East Nashville. Like there's so many cool little neighborhoods, and I love to hear that you're in the Nashville market because I've always loved a lot of the architectural elements, and so
100%.
hopefully you can start bringing some of those things down to the Tampa Bay area.
100%. And yeah, I mean, it's yeah. There's elements of that are very fitting for the area, but there's some things I really like about that.
Yeah.
And I think it is very design forward in Nashville. And it's funny, I was in Nashville 2 weeks ago, and for a client that hopefully we're going to be building a project here in Tampa with, that's working in that market, that wanted to take that.
Oh, cool.
They're working on a townhome project in Nashville that they wanted to take to this design that they're going to have in South Tampa. So it's there's a lot of overlap, and it's just, I mean, for me, it's so easy. I can be on a flight at 6 a.m. and I'm at my desk by 7:30 in Nashville. So
yeah,
there's definitely, and a lot of the players are the same. Really, like I think the Tampa, Dallas, Nashville, Atlanta, there's a couple other ones. That whole SEC is very intertwined, but those three in particular are very, very intertwined. So yeah, I love it. I mean, other than that, in-state, yeah, Jupiter, Palm Beach for sure.
Yeah.
Like, one day.
Speaking of SEC, makes me think football. Bucks or Ravens?
Ravens.
Yeah, he's a Baltimore
I know,
fan.
I know. But are you? I mean,
Are
you a
it's
Bucks
funny.
fan?
Here's
You gotta
the
be-
weird
you
thing.
got
Like,
to-
all right, so
NFC,
if you're
AFC.
me, where are you pushing your son towards? Because like I feel guilty. Like he's going to be a Ravens fan. We know that. My wife cheered for the Ravens.
That's an easy answer for me.
Yeah. I'm saying if you're me,
Well,
like
but
if you come from another place and you come to a new market, like is your kid going to be a fan of your teams, or are you going to push him to the teams that he would actually get to go to games?
So we transplanted and lived in DC for years, and we were about to have our first and stay. If I was still in DC today, he would 100% be a Bucks fan.
No shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Just root for the team that's better.
Yeah, he may be a Wizards fan because we became Wizards fans while we were there. And
Wizards are dog shit.
Well,
Man.
when we were there, that was the John Wall, Bradley
Wall.
Beal
I was-
era. We
yeah.
had like it was
Even then.
It was a good time.
We lost Game 7 in the Celtics.
It was the first time I could
was
watch
like,
NBA basketball live because Tampa doesn't have
One of the
a
worst
elite
franchises
team.
ever, the Wizards.
It was painful.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I
But
mean, they have
Them and the Jets.
He
Yeah.
would have been a Nats fan, but also a Rays fan. I would have had him be both because we were season ticket holders for the Nats because we lived right.
And there'll
right
be
by
a
the
little
ballpark.
bit of that. I did decide last night, like, I think he'll be a Bolts fan. Like, because hockey's so big here.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I feel like the kids are.
Oh, that's the
really
other
into
thing. Yeah, they in no world if we had stayed in DC would my kids or me ever be a Caps fan.
it. Yeah.
Lightning through and through.
See, I saw Stanley Cup final when I lived in DC, so I got to see Ovechkin win it, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
And it's one of the few championships I've had in my life. The rest has been suffering and torture, which can't say compared to a lot of people. But yeah, I think it's definitely Bolts.
All right,
We'll see.
we got one in there at least. I'm gonna keep working on you for the Bucks.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna get Stallone a little newborn package, and there's gonna be some Bucks gear in there for sure. I'm gonna get a tiny hard hat and some Bucks
There you go.
Bucks swag. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Any other rapid fire?
None from me.
Well, thank you, man. Listen, we really appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Mike.
And we got into a lot of things, which I love. And so thank you for being so open with us in the conversation. And yeah, this was fun.
Awesome.
Look forward to walking some of these projects with you soon.
Absolutely. Anytime, guys. Thanks for having me.
All
Cool.
right.
Thank you.
Cheers.